Hey loves, Danny here. I wanted to come on and do a quick, or maybe not so quick. I get wordy, y'all. So I wanted to do a full moon in Scorpio spread, a collective spread, and a collective reading, excuse me. Because I found a really good spread by Sharon Basanti. She goes on Instagram by @seedsofshakti. A full moon in Scorpio spread, and I thought it was really good. I changed it just a little bit for this collective read, but I will use her original for myself when I do my own. I love sharing my full moon rituals and meditations with everyone. I usually do a meditation around the full moon at my yoga studio with my women's group. Sometimes I do that on Periscope. I used to do it a lot on Periscope, but it's been a while. It's been a while since I've been on, and I need to get back on because I just love connecting with everyone, like doing videos, but also being able to connect with everybody and talk it out and share that with people live, and maybe even start doing that on my Instagram since we have that ability. So I just may do that. But anyway, back to the point. I told y'all, sometimes I just get away. It just gets away from me. I wanted to do this one. It is a 5-card spread. The first one is, what sacred medicine will this full moon release? 2 is, what aspect of ourselves is undergoing reinvention or transformation? 3, what old wounds will Scorpio help to magnify, cleanse, and heal? 4, what is this moon illuminating? 5, message from the Scorpio moon. So like I said, this is a little bit different. It's just based on hers. But I wanted to share that with you guys. So here we go. I also have my moon deck. This is the Pagan Otherworlds tarot that I'm going to be using. This right here, one of my favorite decks. I call it one of my personal decks. I like to read for myself with this deck. It is my ultimate favorite. And then I also grabbed, I'm going to pull, I consider them sort of like an affirmation card from the moon deck. No full moon or new moon ritual I find is complete without this deck. This is the moon deck. Just one of my favorites too for moon work. All right, I think this is definitely ready. I had one more card that just really wanted to come out, so I'm gonna put it up here and we'll go over that as well. What sacred medicine will this full moon release? Ooh. Knight of Swords. I just feel action. Moving forward, right? Just with a purpose. I feel like this almost a new moon, this full moon is going to have with it a lot of moving on, right? Like just moving forward. It's going to release a lot of baggage that we may carry, a lot of bad habits, things that are not serving us, like beyond what we thought, right? This is going to bring up the past that needs to be shed and just move it forward. Moving forward straight out of the gate. I just feel that action coming right at it. So we have that. An aspect of ourselves that is undergoing reinvention or transformation. We have the 9 of Pentacles. I feel like this might be a lot of what we think we need, if that makes sense. Almost like we have everything set, or we thought we had a pretty good idea of what we wanted, but I think a lot of that is about to change. With this action, with this move forward, releasing all these things that maybe we didn't even notice needed to be released in the first place is going to change a lot of this. You know, we felt like we had our ducks in a row, we got a plan, you know, we have a course of action, right? You're going to put into your 401k, you're going to stay at this job forever, you're going to retire and move to Tahiti. Maybe that's all out the window, right? So maybe all these long-term plans and all this set stuff that you had is really going to drop off. Things are going to be changing. They're going to be rearranging. I don't see this in a bad way. I just see that it will be moving into a different space, if that makes sense. What old wounds will Scorpio help to magnify, cleanse, and heal? Definitely that past, y'all. The Nine of Swords. What plagues you? I feel like a lot of deep work might need to be done with this full moon. A lot of things that maybe, again, you didn't know needed to be worked on. You didn't think needed, you know, like this is going to be, it might not be nice, okay? Like, I don't want to say rough, this is going to be rough, but it's not going to be fun. You know, this is a card of nightmares, that this is what needs to be cleansed. This is what needs to be healed. But I just feel like with this energy from this moon, you're going to be able to overcome this. If you do the work, if you put in the work, I feel like you're going to be moving forward. So that's a good thing. We don't need to carry this stuff around, right? This pain and hurt and unforgiveness, if you will, like it needs to come out, it needs to go so you can move forward. And that's what this energy this month or this cycle is just bringing, this forward motion. And we have what is this moon illuminating? Justice. And again, like first thing I see, there's another sword. And while it's not a sword card, like that's the one thing that my eye goes to. Justice, again, what is this illuminating? Your imbalance, our imbalance, needing to, again, release those things that are weighing us down. Releasing all that maybe, how do I describe it? Maybe you've been waiting for an apology, right? You've been waiting for someone else to come in and fix it for you, right? You've been, oh, well, I mean, I'll get over it if such and such apologizes. Or it could be deeper than that. It could be further than that. It could be something your mother said or your father said or your aunt said when you were a kid, and you still feel hurt by that, right? Sometimes just releasing it and saying, you know what, I forgive you, is still a form of justice in a way. You may not get the apology that you want. You may not get the closure that you seek from others, but that doesn't mean that you still can't have peace. I hope that makes sense. Like, you forgiving, you don't need to say it to this person. You don't need to make this grand gesture. You yourself saying, you know what? It's forgiven. And I'm moving on. I'm not letting this weigh me down. Is just as powerful. Because we can't force people to apologize. We can't force people to understand, right? Because sometimes people say things or do things that they don't realize is hurtful. They don't realize had such a negative impact on someone else's life. And we can't sit around and wait for those people to have the empathy that you require, we require or ask for. So sometimes just illuminating and get a different kind of justice, right? Sometimes just you letting it go is enough. And the message from the Scorpio moon, how beautiful. The Ten of Cups. Allow yourself to be happy. Sometimes you do have to choose. And I feel like that's what a lot of this is saying. Like, there's going to be stuff that comes up, or there's stuff that you maybe need to dig up, that you've been feeling, that you've been struggling with. Maybe you don't know where it's coming from. Dig in. Find where these things are hidden. Find where the nightmares are coming from, right? If you don't know where it comes from, dig in and find it. Because you're going to come out feeling so much lighter. Feeling so much more grounded and in yourself, in your body, in your mind. Just coming out refreshed. Is the best way to describe this feeling. Just refreshed. So allow yourself to do the work, as painful or as uncomfortable as it may be, because it is always worth it. The more you know yourself, the more flexible you are with yourself too, the better. Because I feel like, again, this aspects of ourselves that are going through reinvention, like I feel like so many of us, or so many people in general, are so worried about a plan, like that they're almost completely immovable when it comes to it, right? Like, no, because this is how it should be, because this is how society says it should be, this is how my father said it should be, this is how my uncle said I need to do it. Like, they plan out their lives so strategically and down to the wire that when something goes wrong, their whole world is upheaved, you know? It's like someone flipped the whole table and just screwed everything up, and it's hard to pick up those pieces when you're not being flexible. So I feel like bringing your life really into perspective by dropping some of the old baggage, these old perceptions, these bad habits, these rough situations that you went through. Dropping some of those is also going to help ease your rigidity when it comes to certain aspects of your life. So don't be so rigid. I don't know how else to say it. Like, allow for that flexibility in your life, because that is that's where it's at. So the card that wanted to come out was the Magician. And I feel like for this, it really is more about allowing yourself that creative energy, right? Scorpio is a water sign, so I feel like it has a lot of creativity that comes with it, regardless of what's going on. And I feel like maybe harnessing this creative, whether that be the creative within you, whether that be writing or painting or drawing or speaking, or I don't know, creating a new potion or a form of magic, or something like that. I feel like exploring your creativity through this cycle is going to be really fulfilling and really open when it comes to creation for this cycle. So I feel like this is just a representation of the moon's energy right now. So to finish this reading off, which I think is really a great reading, you guys, Again, when it comes to collective readings, take what speaks to you, leave the rest. If nothing speaks to you, then leave it all together. As long as I'm putting this out there, I feel like it's important because one person may need to hear this, you know, that needs this message, you know. So what I have here, it's beautiful, with the moon deck. This is a very feminine deck in general. All about sisterhood, but it says, we are all sisters and reflect the divine in one another. So remember, when going through sometimes the shadow work, which is kind of what it's speaking of, going into a place that's not always fun, remember to be kind to each other, because we don't all know what we're going through. We don't know what kind of shadow work we're doing. We don't know what kind of day we're having. So be sure not to project your sadness or anger or hurt onto each other, and just be kind and hold space for each other, and allow yourself to feel that connected energy between everyone. So I hope that this spoke to you. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope you guys have a great night under the full moon, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.